Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're fine. I'm happy to welcome you back here again. In today's lesson, I'll be teaching you some common linking words used to connect two sentences together, explaining a cause and effect relationship. So we'll start by linking words of cause. These linking words are used to introduce a cause. The most common ones are since, as, because, for, because of, due to, owing to, and the phrases the cause of is and the reason for is. Well, let's have a look at the first group of linking words of cause. Because, as, and since. They are grouped like this because they are used in the same way. So these linking words can go at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. So when you want to use because, as, or since to introduce a sentence, you should use them like this: because, as, since, plus cause, comma. We put a comma to separate the cause from the effect, plus effect. Look at the cause following because and as and since. It must be a sentence. And I told you before that a sentence can be formed with subject plus verb, subject plus verb plus object, subject plus verb plus adjective, or subject plus verb plus adverb. To better understand how to use because, as, and since to introduce a sentence, I'll give you an example. So consider this pair of sentences. The weather was hot. I went swimming. So before combining these two sentences in one sentence, we have first to identify the cause clause and the effect clause. So the weather was hot is the cause clause. I went swimming is the effect clause. So the answer: because, as, since the weather was hot, comma, I went swimming. Look at the cause following because, as, and since. It is a sentence. The weather is the subject, was is the verb, hot is an adjective. We can also use because, as, and since in the middle of a sentence. And when they are used in the middle of a sentence, they must be preceded by the effect and followed by the cause. And the cause, again, must be a sentence. Let us say an example. I went swimming because, as, since the weather was hot. Look at because, as, and since. Before them, there is no comma. Well, let's move on to the next linking word of cause, for. This linking word goes in the middle of a sentence. As you see, it must be preceded by the effect and followed by the cause. And the cause must be a sentence. Look at the punctuation of for. It should be preceded by a comma. Well, let us combine this pair of sentences using for to express cause and effect. So the sentence should begin with the effect, and the effect is I went swimming. I went swimming, comma, for the weather was hot. As you see, the cause is a sentence. The weather is the subject, was is the verb, and hot is the adjective. Well, let's move on to the next group of linking words of cause. Because of, owing to, and due to. So just like as, since, and because, these linking words can be used at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. So if you want to use them to introduce a sentence, you should use them like this: because of, due to, owing to, plus cause, comma, plus effect. Look at the cause following because of, due to, and owing to. It must be a noun like money, experience, the weather. A noun phrase like his experience, her money. So a noun phrase means a group of words that function as a noun, or the fact that plus sentence. Let's have a look at this example. Because of, due to, owing to the hot weather. Here the cause is a noun phrase. It's a group of words that function as a noun. The hot weather, comma, I went swimming. It's the effect. Or we can follow these linking words by sentence, and before it we put the fact that. Because of, due to, owing to the fact that the weather was hot, it's a sentence. The weather is a subject, was is the verb, and hot is an adjective, comma, I went swimming. We can also use because of, due to, owing to in the middle of a sentence. To do so, they must be preceded by the effect and preceded by the cause. And the cause, as I told you, must be a noun phrase, or the fact that plus sentence. An example: I went swimming, it's the effect, because of, due to, owing to. Look at these linking words before them, there is no comma. The hot weather plus a noun phrase, or the fact that the weather was hot plus the fact that plus sentence. These are other phrases that can be used to express cause in English. The first one is the cause of effect is plus cause, or the reason why plus effect is that plus cause. Examples: the cause of global warming is pollution. So global warming is the effect and pollution is the cause. Another example: the reason why many students quit school at an early age in Morocco is that their parents are poor. So many students quit school at an early age in Morocco is the effect, and the cause is their parents are poor. Now we'll move on to look at linking words of effect, the ones used to introduce an effect. These linking words introduce the effects of an action. They are consequently, as a consequence, therefore, as a result, so, hence, and thus. Well, one common way to link two sentences in one sentence to express cause and effect relationship is by using the linking word so. As you see, this linking word goes between a cause and an effect, and it is preceded by a comma. So let us combine these two sentences in one sentence using this linking word. Before doing so, we have again to identify the cause and the effect. Tom didn't revise his lessons well is the cause. He got a bad mark in the quiz is the effect. So the cause should go before so, and the effect should go after it. So the answer is Tom didn't revise his lessons well, comma, so he got a bad mark in the quiz. Therefore, as a result, consequently, as a consequence, for this reason, thus, hence, these are other ways for expressing cause and effect in English. As you see, these also go in the middle of a sentence between the cause and the effect. Look at how they are punctuated. They are put between a full stop and a comma. We can also put them between a semicolon and the comma. When you put them between full stop, and the comma, you capitalize the first letter or the initial letter of each linking word. But when you put them between a semicolon and the comma, the initial letter of each linking word should be small. Let us see some examples. So we can combine the same pair of sentences. Tom didn't revise his lessons well. He got a bad mark in the quiz, using these linking words, and we can provide different answers, two different answers. The first possible answer: Tom didn't revise his lessons well, full stop, therefore, comma, he got a bad mark in the quiz. Or we can put therefore between a semicolon and a comma, and T should be small. Tom didn't revise his lessons well, semicolon, therefore, comma, he got a bad mark in the quiz. To introduce effects, we can also use these phrases: one, or the effect or the result of, plus cause, is plus effect. Or one, or the consequence of, plus cause, is that, plus effect. One more phrase is effect plus is or are due to plus cause. Let us see some examples. Example 1. One effect of pollution is global warming. So pollution is the cause and global warming is the effect. Another example. The consequence of dropping out of school at an early age is ignorance. So dropping out of school at an early age is the effect, and ignorance is the cause. Well, this is the end of the lesson. Before ending this video, let us do a practice exercise. So practice the linking words and phrases that you have just learned. So here you are required to combine the pairs of sentences given using the linking words in brackets. So let's start. Let's answer the exercise. Janice got home late. She missed her TV program. So before combining this pair of sentences in one sentence using because, we have first to identify the cause and the effect. Janice got home late is the cause. She missed her program or her TV program is the effect. So you've studied that because can be used to introduce a sentence. We can also use it in the middle of a sentence. When it introduces a sentence, we put a comma to separate the cause from the effect. And the cause following because must be a sentence. And here, the cause is a sentence. Janice got home late. So we can provide two different answers. We can start the sentence by because or put it in the middle of the sentence. So let us write the answer. Because Janice got home late, comma, she missed her TV program. So this is the first possible answer. The second possible answer is putting because in the middle of the sentence. So if you want to put it in the middle of the sentence, you have to start it by the second clause, the effect clause. So let's do it. She refers to Janice. So Janice missed her TV program because no comma should be put before because. She got home late. Well, let's move on to the second pair of sentences. The car is quite old. I decided to sell it and buy a new one. So the clause that expresses cause is the first, the car is quite old, and the second expresses effect. I decided to sell it and buy a new one. So we're going to combine these two sentences together in one sentence using therefore, and therefore is an expression of effect. It goes between the cause and the effect, and we can put it between full stop and a comma, or semicolon and a comma, so we can provide then two possible answers. So the car is quite old. Full stop. If you put full stop, you should capitalize T. Therefore, comma, I decided to sell it and buy a new one. So this is the first possible answer. The second possible answer is putting therefore between semicolon and a comma, and T should be small. Where is it? The third pair of sentences, we listened eagerly to him. He brought news of our families. So the clause that expresses cause is the second. He brought news for our families. The first expresses effect, and for is a linking word of cause. It introduces a cause, and I told you that this linking word goes in the middle of a sentence, and it should be preceded by a comma. So the answer is he brought news for our families. The cause should go after for. Sorry. So we should start by the effect. So effect, comma, for plus cause. So the answer is we listened eagerly to him, for he brought news of our families. Let's move on to the fourth pair of sentences. He was punished. He was cheating in the English exam. So we are required to combine these two sentences in one sentence using because of, and because of is a linking word of cause. So the clause indicating cause is the second. He was cheating in the English exam, and the first clause indicates or expresses effect. Because of can be used to introduce a sentence. We can also use it in the middle of a sentence, so we can provide two different answers. The cause following because of must be a noun phrase, or the fact that plus sentence. So given that the cause given is a sentence, we can keep it unchanged, and before it we put the fact that, because of the fact that he was cheating in the English exam, comma, plus effect, he was punished. Or we can put because of in the middle of the sentence. To do so, we have to start by the effect. So he was punished because of the fact that, no comma should be put before the because of when it happens in the middle of a sentence, because of the fact that he was cheating in the exam. So these are the two possible answers that we can provide using because of in this case. Well, the last pair of sentences, we cancelled our picnic, the weather was bad. So the first clause expresses effect and the second expresses cause. Due to is an expression or a linking word of cause. Just like because of, it can be used to introduce a sentence, we can also use it in the middle of a sentence. The cause following due to must be a noun phrase, or the fact that plus sentence. So here we can provide different answers. So we can start by due to plus cause, and given that the cause here is a sentence, we can keep it unchanged after the fact that. We put it after the fact that, after due to the fact that the weather was hot, was bad, comma, to separate the cause clause from the effect clause, we cancelled our picnic. So this is one possible answer. The second possible answer is putting due to in the middle of the sentence. We cancelled our picnic due to the fact that the weather was bad. A third possible answer can be provided by following due to by noun phrase. So we can make the sentence the weather was bad, noun phrase, due to the bad weather. So the bad weather are three words that function as a noun. Due to the bad weather, comma, we cancelled our picnic. Well, thank you so much for your attention there, students. I hope that you learned something from this video, and see you in the coming video if God is willing. Goodbye.